I think we're live. Hey, 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 Facebook world. This is Yassin here. I hope you're doing great. Today is a special call or a special Facebook. Schwartz, how are you doing, Len?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yep.
And dude, it's been fantastic and inspiring seeing your growth. So thank you for honoring me and my friends here on Facebook by coming on today's call.
Thanks so much. Happy to be here for sure.
Beautiful. So the reason why we're here today is because Dr. Len just released his book, Cut the Yo-Yo. I love the title, Cut the Yo-Yo, which includes not one, not two, but 52 no-cost new client generation campaigns that are designed to generate leads, referrals, and sales every day. So I wanted to bring him on and do a deep dive on just a few of the strategies. We won't be able to do a deep dive on all 52 strategies, but you can definitely go ahead and pick up his book. It's already on Amazon, getting some great ratings. And, for anyone listening here, what Dr. Len has promised to share today is something that you can put immediately into action to get leads, referrals, and sales right after this Facebook Live. So, Dr. Len, why don't you tell me a little bit about Cut the Yo-Yo?
Yeah, so Cut the Yo-Yo, I guess it's important to share the subhead with everybody, which is end the ups and downs of business. But, the Cut the Yo-Yo mindset can really find its way into your life. So we gain weight, we lose weight. We make money, we lose money. We have good relationships, we have bad relationships. We grow our business, we need to grow our business. So Cut the Yo-Yo is really a mindset about the way to live life. And putting the right systems or campaigns or strategies or processes in place to help you eliminate the ups and downs in every area of your life. So that's why I came up with the name Cut the Yo-Yo. And as it pertains to business, it's really about being able to consistently create demand for your products and services so that you can finally cut the yo-yo, end the ups and downs in your business, and enjoy that consistent, steady flow of growth and income that I believe most business owners want.
I love it. And I think it couldn't have come at a better time, than this, pandemic, and a lot of businesses are shutting down. We operate in the service industry, in the facility service industry, servicing restaurants, schools, commercial kitchen, and it's been by the bucket. Businesses, unfortunately, are shutting down. So I think now more than ever, focusing on cash flow stability and getting those referrals and getting those sales without adding to our payroll and without giving more money to Zuck or to Google, and just really doing grassroots, guerrilla marketing, strategies. Because when it comes to marketing, there's no free marketing. You either spend your time or spend your money, whichever you have more of, right? And I think with the 52 strategies that you've got in the book, you kind of give a nice mix. If people have more time than money, there's definitely a ton of these strategies, and most of the strategies are geared towards, putting more of your time and leveraging your time and doing, we're not doing any cold calls, right? But also there is, if you have a little bit of money too, you can use a little bit of your money and combine it and have that great hybrid going on. So I love it. So Dr. Len, why don't you, can you give us like a couple of examples of no cost new client generation campaigns that are included in the book, just so that we can wrap our heads around what you've got covered in there?
Sure. Let me just preempt I'll share a couple strategies, but to your point, this is almost what's old is new again. This has nothing to do with paid advertising. Like you said, these are no cost new client generation campaigns. And I also agree that it's come at a really important time because so many businesses are struggling. So I work with a lot of brick and mortar doctors, professionals, business owners, and I know a lot of people in your audience are also service providers and agency owners and et cetera. So, one of the things that I shared just the other day that went over really well that I'll share with all of you and is what I call the shopper effort. So many prospects call your office and want to ask questions about your products or your services, and they are in fact shopping around. What I have found to be true is that the overwhelming majority of people that answer the phone, they don't know how to answer the shopper's questions in a way that communicate why you're better / different, why your products and services are unique or better / different than everybody else, why you're uniquely qualified, etc., so that the shopper feels compelled to say, what do I need to do next? Or can I schedule an appointment? Or what's the next step, etc. And so that's really an effort that's included in this book, is train the people that are answering your phone, even if it's you, to know how to answer the questions of the shopper's questions in a way that clearly separate you from everyone else. So the prospect really is compelled to say, what's the next step? How do we get started? What do we do next? So that's just one quick and easy strategy that, again, I have found 9 out of 10 business owners do not train the person answering the phone to answer those shopper questions perfectly.
I love it. I was reading Jay Abraham's stuff. I'm knee deep into Jay, and I revisit it every year. And one of his things that he's got is like, how good do you train like your salespeople? Because salespeople or a sales force is a multiplier of revenue, profit, and client base. And exactly, and one of the things that he was giving an example, like he tested like 30 different ways of how to greet people into the door, coming into the store, 30 different ways to greet them. And he found that the most effective way to do that was to ask them, what ad brought you in today, to uncover intent, what brought them in, and that led to the sale immediately. So if you have like the list of top 5 objections or top 10 objections, and you put it in an SOP, in a checklist, and you give it to your phone salespeople who are picking up the phone, even if they're customer support can be a revenue generating activity instead of an expense. To Dr. Len's point, I love it.
Yeah, I totally agree. In fact, one of the things I also talk about in the book is how to turn your patients, your clients, or your customers into the best sales team you could never hire. And what's interesting is it all starts on the front end of the relationship with that patient, client, or customer, knowing and understanding why you're uniquely qualified, why you're better / different than everyone else, and why they can't find anyone else that can help them like you can. That turns your people into the best sales force you could never hire.
Word of mouth, baby. Amen. So talking about word of mouth, one of my favorite things about what you teach is how to generate referrals without actually begging for it and feeling embarrassed or less than when you ask for referrals, because referrals are some of the hottest buyers you can get. They ask less questions, they buy more often, they're easier to maintain, and they refer other people, right? Those are the best prospects to have. So can you give us examples? I know you cover it in depth in the book, but can you give us like an example of how to ask for referrals without actually embarrassing ourselves or like coming across as needy?
Yeah, I think most people feel as I do, which is it can get old really fast asking for referrals over and over again. And I'm all about nurturing and maximizing the relationship with your patient, client, or customer. So I came up with different ways to be able to stimulate referrals, as you said, without actually asking for them. And so one example would be, let's say, for example, that I'll just pick somebody out. You're a chiropractor, and the chiropractor has a patient that had back pain, and 6 weeks later, that back pain is gone. Well, that person would say, and let's role play here. I would say, it's been 6 weeks since you started here. You had excruciating back pain when you first started. Now it's gone. Can I ask you a question? And you would say yes. And I'd say, I'm curious. Do you have a friend or family member that is needlessly suffering with back pain, but just doesn't know what to do, where to go, or who to trust? Or I could say, there are a lot of my patients just like you that tell me that they have friends and family that also have back pain that just don't know what to do, where to go, or who to trust. Do you know people like that too? And by me asking you that sort of I'm curious question, that conversational question, what I'm looking for is for you to say, yeah, my cousin Bob, he's got back pain all the time. And here's the good news. You already do know what to do. You already do know where to go. And you already do know who to trust, and that's me. So it makes it a lot more comfortable for you to engage in that way rather than me just asking, Yassin, who can you refer to me? Who do you know that you could send into my office today? Yeah, I have found that to be a much more enjoyable experience.
And I think you come across as more serving, right? Like, who else is in pain that you'd like to alleviate? And you put the referee in a position of like, hey, I'm helping out someone, and they're getting that social currency or social, right? Like, okay, I'll look better by actually referring someone else to Dr. Len, right? Because he solved my problem, and you anchored it, you pre-framed the value before they ask. I think that's key. You're not just trying to be sales. You're reminding them of the value, and then you follow it by a stealth ask. Let's call it that way. You're not asking, but it's like it sets up the ask or the conclusion. It's like, why don't I recommend them already to you? Like, seems like the next logical thing. It's like their conclusion. You make it their conclusion, then your ask. I love that.
Well, to your point, and in the spirit of that service type question, you'll find that when you ask that question in that way, most people like to help other people. And so you'll find that your patient, your client, or your customer is excited about the opportunity to be able to help someone that they know with your product, service, solution, et cetera.
I love it. And one of the things that I love about you is not just like, at the tactical level, like getting the referral, and that's all great, and getting the sale. But if you take a step back, in today's market, there's no shortage of experts, right? Everyone who read a book is now, unfortunately, can call themselves an expert. They can slap a Facebook ad together, a video, show their Ferrari, and now they're like, boom, right? But what I know that one of the things that you're really great at is helping your clients create this expert positioning and helping them out with their lead follow-up and conversion process. So can you share a little bit about how you help clients secure that expert status with prospects? How do I get perceived as the one and only guy to solve that problem, and where, I don't have to do a lot of convincing. I don't have to, try to give them references or try to convince them I'm different. How can you have that expert mindset implanted in the minds of the prospect before they pick up the phone and call me? So by the time I'm talking to them, I know I have that know, like, and trust already.
So I think, we're kind of coming full circle, which is great. We all started with the shopper effort, where that person answering questions can communicate a lot of that value of the product or service and the value of the person. So what I like to do is take a look at a couple of things. It could be education, experience, unique products or truly unique products or services, credentials, designations, specialized knowledge. Those are all pools that somebody can tap into and take from to be able to identify to any prospect or client why they're better and why they're different. Being able to distinguish themselves using any or all of those things is the start of how you position yourself or get or earn that position of being an expert in your city, in your region, in the state, in the country, whatever it is. So it's impossible for me, unless I'm talking to somebody, to ask those questions, get that information, and then give the specific language. But that's where somebody should start, with all of those things. How can you point out different things within those categories that no one else or very few people have? So at the beginning of the relationship, when you can identify and secure that expert positioning with your prospect or with your new client, that's your foundation. That's your springboard right there, to be able to start getting somebody to understand why they can't find anybody else that can help them like you can.
I love that. Can you give me a little bit more context for how you help people like accelerate, like, hey, someone picked up the phone to, like, they saw an ad or they heard about me and they went to my website to like actually becoming a client? Like they're aware that I solved this problem to here's my credit card.
I think generally speaking, most people have an instinct to try to sell their services or their solutions and paint a fantastic picture of what's waiting for them on the other side. And so while I think that's normal, what I want to point out today is that if you can successfully communicate what it's going to cost someone by not taking action, I call it the consequences of inaction. When you talk about someone having a problem and you have their solution, a lot of people sell the solution, I totally get it. But when you can also point out what it's going to cost that person, time, energy, money, etc., by delaying that start or their purchase, whatever makes sense, that's a huge motivator for a lot of people. They don't want to continue to experience what they're experiencing, and choosing not to take action or not to fix or solve that problem. They're understanding that you're going to continue to suffer with X, Y, and Z is usually a pretty darn good motivator to help to accelerate the process of at least getting people to ask more questions, want to learn more, want to find out more about how you can help them, which then gives you the ability to take them down that short path to explain how you can help them in a way that no one else can with unique services and solutions.
I love that. Because if you suddenly just present the price without pre-frame of like, what is it costing them to miss out on this, then they're going to be so focused on the price that they're going to beat you down and try to get a discount and all of that. And one of the things that you just mentioned is focus on the cost of not having your solution. So I love that. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we wrap up? I know, I encourage everyone here to go ahead and grab the book on Amazon. And I personally want to, gift to the first 10 people who go out and get Cut the Yo-Yo. I'm going to give you one-on-one, a 30-minute session to work on your offer so that when you deploy the lead gen, when you deploy the client campaigns, when you deploy the referral campaigns that are inside of Dr. Len's book, it's easy to get people to say yes. We want to take from, 100% hell no to 100% hell yes. And so that will be a multiplier to all the strategies you will be finding inside of Dr. Len's book. So anything else you'd like, any wisdom you'd like to leave us with, and where can people grab your book, brother?
So thank you. Yeah, I don't think people realize that the biggest expense most business owners have is the money they could be making but aren't.
Boom.
And so when you have the power to create demand for your products or services every day, that's why the subhead for my book is Never Go a Day Without Leads, Referrals, or Sales Again. You have the power to be able to create that demand, put those new client campaigns in place. So, I want to thank you for giving me a chance to come on board and share. I don't have anything else to add. I'm happy to do this with you anytime you want.
Brother, I appreciate you for coming on board on the call here. And this has been so helpful. And I'm diving into more strategies into the book, specifically referrals. I don't think we really do as good of a job, even like a referral program, right? So you bring up referrals, and referrals, it's one thing, you can do it in a way where you can ask for the referral, but also reading through the book, it got me thinking about what about the Dropbox kind of referral program? What about the affiliate programs that we use in the digital marketing and online? How can we adapt those to other industries, right? Where it's not so common, those kind of referral generation or affiliate generation campaigns. So, brother, I appreciate you so much for coming on this Facebook Live. I'm super impressed with your growth, and the sky is the limit for you, brother. Thank you. Congratulations on your book. And again, guys, I think Len, they can grab them on Amazon.
Yes.
On your website, do you have a website? Do you have a link they can go to just go there?
Yeah, they can go to cuttheyoyo.com. Cut the yo-yo, there's a dash. Cuttheyoyo.com.
Okay, cuttheyoyo.com. untitled.com. I'll leave the link in the comments. And for the first 10 who claim the book, send me a private message with the receipt, and I'll be happy to get on a one-on-one 30 minutes offer makeover session so you can get more of those leads, more of those referrals turning into sales. Thank you so much, brother, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.